but they are also looking to form this Friends of or similar named group that will look to raise money as well to do the maintenance. They need the Parish Council to review the risk register associated with the project, and that's to do with the governance structures of the Parish Council, so I can answer those questions if you give me the delegated authority to do so. And that I need to prepare and submit to them a governance statement regarding the current Parish Council governance and policies. As I say, the timescales are quite tight because they want to get the application in by a week tomorrow so that they can hit that deadline, so hopefully get started this year. I have copies of all of the paperwork. It runs to 2 full leave Raj files so far, and Jodie sent me a whole load more this morning. But I can put it all into an electronic folder that you can all see and access if you wish. Or I can provide a summary report at the next meeting, or you can not delegate me the authority to do it. However, if those documents can't be finalised, then West Cumbria Rivers Trust can't submit, and they have serious concerns that if they don't submit in this round, that the funding will be lost, and that would therefore mean that the site wasn't developed, and therefore all the liabilities would fall to the Parish Council of the site as is and ongoing maintenance, as opposed to the site once the project has been done. Now, obviously, I've only just come into the council, but it sounds like quite a lot of funding that's potentially at stake.
Okay. She's also pinged an email relatively late in the day saying, could we also produce some words about the need for the Friends group, because otherwise, if we don't have a Friends group, we don't have, that's part of the plan is to have a Friends group to make it manageable in the long run. The value of the project to support delivery of the Woodland Business Plan, which is the next part of it is setting up a Friends group. The commitment to engaging and supporting people to volunteer during and beyond the project, which is part of the plan. Sharing what we've learned with other parish councils. That's a new one to me, but we can write some words to say that's what we'll do. And what would happen if this project doesn't get funding, which is it will be.
Can I be honest with you? If it doesn't get, I'm maybe speaking out of term here, mate. But this is my opinion. If it doesn't get funded, it doesn't get funded. Because I'm quite happy with how it is. If it gets funded, then great. We get a £3 million path.
Yeah, but
that's fantastic.
But the key benefit of it is actually helping to set up a group who can work to maintain it.
As long as you don't have to do it.
The reason there's no Friends is because you're there.
There's a group made up, like me and Gillian go to the meetings ourselves, and other residents in here. And to be honest with you, on the last meeting we were at, weren't we? And it was a very good meeting, wasn't it? We had a few things to sort out, like the name. We come up with the name of Walk Mill Wood. But we were quite happy with the Walk Mill Community Wood. We think it's got a better ability. I think it's always been a community, so they call that. But it was quite a nice meeting, and everything was great. What was being said, that was fantastic. And on the group thing, there would be a group on only one condition. There will be a group, and you know that.
But you're not there.
You're not there.
You already know the answer.
It's just a big useless man.
So,
look, the residents have not got you know that.
So, in order to do that, is it okay to produce some words to go into this bid to support?
I don't. Does it have to be done now? Like, I don't think so.
Well, wait for Friday.
Well, I'm not involved. Yeah, take the money. I agree. Take the money.
I mean, if it gets to the day, it's got to be money to put into it. If we don't get it, well, we don't get it. It'll be what it is now, won't it?
Yeah, obviously the decision on the grant is something that is taken by the grant awarding body. So the questions that so what I'm asking is the council happy that I continue to work with the Rivers Trust to prepare the final documents?
Yes.
And then at least you've got the chance, as you say, that what they award, whether they decide to award it.
Just keep people away from it.
It's not that part, Bex, it's the other part with this Friends thing.
Can I borrow that thing?
It's quite sorted out by
So there are 6 questions that they are looking for a form of words on, and ideally, as I say, they need those by next Friday. Would councillors feel more comfortable if those forms of words were drafted and circulated to all on email for approval before they were passed to the Rivers Trust? Would that make, because I physically don't have time to get another council meeting in between now and then because of the statutory notice periods. So a form of words could be drafted and sent to you all via email, and then would that make you more comfortable? Just because, as you say, if you don't put the bid in, then you definitely don't have any chance of getting the money. Would that be okay?
Yeah.
Okay, everybody happy with that?
No, there was nothing else on Walkmill, and hopefully at the next meeting I will be able to tell you that it's been submitted, and I can't remember what their word is, but all the boxes have been ticked to say that it's a valid submission.
Just as a side point, a car was rocketed into at the bottom of the car park by the last week of the week before. And warning the people not to leave landfills.
But I mean, that goes to where, or wherever you park your car, like, some
Oh, yeah, yeah,
car
yeah.
parks, you see.
Well, they had a spade of that about 5 or 6 years ago, didn't they? Our car got broke into down there. There was somebody from the farm coming over and, watching from the farm or something, and then coming over. And it was nobody there.
I'll note it in the minutes just so that it's on record.
But it was a very good meeting last time, to be honest with you. She showed us a lot of good stuff.
Yeah, you've been working very hard on this.
In fact, it looks fantastic. That's what she's done.
Okay, you caught up.
Yeah.
Play area. Consider obtaining quotes for repairs identified being required during December 22nd.
Since issuing the agenda, the matter has been dealt with.
You've got quotes.
No, apparently the a quotation, and again this is before I took over, it was identified in the December inspection report, and a quotation was approved, and the repairs have been undertaken. So I have an invoice for payment.
Yeah.
So you don't need to discuss quotes because it's already been dealt with, and there's an invoice to be paid down, but further down the agenda.
Okay, next one, reinstatement of the bond on the allotments.
Do you want to update, Mark? Do you want me to update? So as I understand it, the current position is, and I can definitely say that on the first part of this because I sent the emails. So the contract for the works has been offered to MCS Plant Hire at a cost of £7,450 plus VAT. This contract has been accepted by them in writing and prior to the Rugby Club's deadline of the 31st of January 2023, and I have confirmed this in writing to the Rugby Club. The contractor is checking the site on a daily basis, and I last spoke to them at lunchtime today, and at the moment they are still saying that the ground is too wet for them to be comfortable about putting heavy machinery onto it without causing further damage on top of the damage that already exists. The team of volunteers, for which thanks have already been noted, are continuing to keep the pond pumped out to prevent either water coming onto the rugby club pitch, but also to reduce the safety hazards. Invoices for reimbursement of these costs are further down the agenda. And as I understand it from my last dialogue with Moresby Rugby Club, and I'm sure that they'll comment in just a second, is that following a meeting, I don't know whether it was their most recent meeting, that as long as the contract to install the new drainage adjacent to the existing rugby club drain and to fill in the pond was let by the 31st of January, which it has been, and the pond is kept drained, which currently it is being, and that a compensation payment is made, which is further down the agenda for consideration, that the rugby club recognise that the work will be completed in the spring, and that as long as those conditions continue to be met, they won't commence legal work. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Is that where we're at?
Well, as I say, our stance hasn't changed. If this needs sorted, and I've just got a comment from the committee as well, that if it isn't sorted by this meeting tonight, we will have no more correspondence, no more discussions, and we will issue legal on the 15th.
When you say sorted, as in
You never mentioned any money there, mate.
so the compensation is done. The clarification that I'm wanting for the minutes is: are you wanting the physical works done by the 15th?
No, we obviously, we obviously know the contract is being awarded, that's fine, we understand that the ground and everything like that, there's not an issue with that.
So, as I say, that the question about compensation is under the finance item of the agenda. So the first 2 points, as I understand it, have been met. The contract has been let and the pond is being kept pumped out. And in terms of, at the last meeting, I was asked to speak to the Parish Council's insurers regarding this issue. I have, and I am in dialogue with them. We've been going backwards and forwards. I have provided the Parish Council insurers with all evidence that they've asked for to date, and they are looking into it. And I will keep councillors updated as and when they come back to me. As I say, I think I've provided them with 3 rounds of evidence so far. So I am speaking to the insurers, but obviously, as you can understand, none of these things are straightforward when it comes to insurance policies. So I am continuing to deal with that on behalf of the council. And again, I've got a full record of all of that, should anyone wish to see the correspondence.
Is he involved with the correspondence? That's clear, right?
Has he? No, he hasn't partaken in any of the correspondence.
That's good, that's good.
So
All is good.
if the parish council passed this compensation to the Rugby Club, you're saying that you haven't got the authority to pay that compensation?
No, I have. If the Parish Council approve it tonight, then that's a council resolution. It doesn't require delegated authority.
Yeah,
Just one quick question. Did you see you had a quote to fill the pond in as well? I don't think there's a price for that.
There's no quote for it to fill the pond in.
So
the only person who gave a quote to fill the pond was Danny Harbour.
Yeah.
But the idea was
So that's more money, yeah.
well, technically, can't 100% give an answer on that, but because it's a pond, when the ground's getting dug out, it could be filled back in, but we can't. That was something Danny Harbour gave separately. It wasn't a major, massive figure of money, but until we see what happens with the land, you couldn't have.
There's a couple of grand.
So as I understand it, as Mark says, as Clemmies do the work, the spoil from the work will go into the pond or the pond hole. Then it will need to be looked at as to whether, if there is a ground level difference. I'm not an engineer. I don't know how much spoil is going to come out of the trench, but that is the proposal. But the drain is going to be dug first, so that there won't be any water sitting in the pond. Then there might be, as I say, a need to look at.
The various banks of the pond are going to have to go in first because they're just pure clear, and then soil as well.
Yeah. When there's raised banks around, they need to be removed.
He's an expert in pods, Graham. He knows all about that.
Just keep away, Mr. Chairman. The job will get done without you.
Just keep away.
Keep away.
And if we can get it in there, it obviously takes away from the person.
So as I say,
Well,
It's only a year. It's only a year.
We've got
What are you talking
somebody
about?
somebody else listening to us.
It's sorting out. Yeah.
1 year.
1 year, one bit of rope.
Mark, can I ask you just a general question? How big a drain are they going to put in the
6-inch double wall.
6-inch double wall?
It's going to be full bucket, digger bucket. It's the minimum between 800 to 1 metre deep. It'll take quite a bit of work, not all
I need to come in this way.
No, it's going that way.
This way.
Get into your back and I want you. It's going that way, and then it's coming across into there. It would have been easy putting it in the No.
Well, Pam.
so just for the record, and I appreciate asking, is everyone happy, is going to get laughter from this side of the room, but is everyone content with the steps that have been taken so far and that I continue pursuing the course of action that's been agreed?
Yeah.
I think it should be noted that the people responsible have to be pursued.
There's another agenda item related to that further down.
That includes the chairman.
Yeah. Well, you've delayed it for a year, pal.
Yeah, exactly.
Does this work need to satisfy the county council on this day?
Copeland have issued the planning enforcement notice, so there is a requirement that the ground looks like it doesn't have a pond in it by the time it's finished, but there is no building reg stipulation on it or anything like that. So for council records, I've asked anyone and I will be asking anyone that goes on site to take photos of kind of before, during and after, so that we have a record.
Can I just note that there's been the plans that subsequently come through after the Thornleys essentially last week. They said there's a stone soak away there and there. That needs investigating. So when somebody comes to me, can they dig that stone soil up and see what's actually feeding into it?
If councillors approve
It is important that.
It's an extension of the contract,
It's a
I can
pipe,
ask them to
isn't
do it.
It needs to be investigated because there's actually a stream coming out of that now.
Even today, after dry weather, it's on the surface.
Hopefully that won't be an issue by that time, though, Kev. Hopefully,
We'll
that won't
see
be an
after
issue by the time.
Can you not make a note of that, though? So
I can make a note of it. I can't approve Clemmies
I
to
know.
do anything
You
without
did-
an approved
it
budget,
doesn't need investigated, though.
but I can make a note that you've raised concerns about it.
Because nobody
Where the water is coming from, it's either coming from the allotments, they're existing two allotments which hopefully we're going to kick them off, or it's coming from the garage land. But there's water going into that storm drain.
We could put,
And I don't think it's historic, I think it's been deliberately.
we could push that to the parish council and look at that one, couldn't we?
Yeah, so I can note the concerns. That's absolutely fine. The one thing
because
I can't.
if you fill that pond in without investigating where the water coming from, it's just going to cause more problems. We need to find out where that water coming from.
It's running now.
It's still running now and it's been dry for a month.
So if councillors want me to ask Clemmies to investigate that when they come to site, then I need an indicative budget to prove that I
It
can.
won't be a budget, he just needs to dig it up. He can do it when he's filling the pond.
I can ask him.
It'll be half an hour.
It won't cost a penny.
I don't know whether there's going to be a cost involved, obviously,
To
without
be
asking him.
honest with you, he would let me, he would just follow me to be honest.
I'm going to pretend I didn't hear that.
that.
Oh, okay, that's all right.
Yeah.
I can certainly ask them.
There'll be no budget involved because it won't cost a penny.
It didn't bother the chairman when the Thorners were running about with no licence on JCBs on our land. Since April 21, by the way, overlooked by his house.
I can certainly ask Clemmies to look at it.
Well, I'll ask him myself. It won't cost a council a penny, but it does need investigating because that water's coming from somewhere.
Very
If you
interesting.
fill the pond in, you're still going to have issues with the water, so it needs found out where it's coming from. That's all I'm saying.
When they did work for the parish council, Kevin,
You know, natural spring in Foggy.
Okay, I've got a note of that.
Okay. Allotments. So there's a paper was circulated. So one of the things we need, the first thing we need to consider is an annual renewal of tenancy agreements due the 1st of April.
Chair, at the risk of interrupting, it may make more sense if if that item was moved to the end of the allotments list. I should have thought about it when I when I did the agenda, but I didn't. So if we can we swap item 1 on the allotments list to item 4, because then you might not have so much to discuss.
Yeah, exactly.
Is that all right with everyone? And apologies, I should have thought about it at the time, but I was probably doing
Yeah, I'm just looking at the order of it. Yeah. So the next one is to consider the services examination notice from existing plot holders who have not complied with the terms of the tenancy agreement.
Well, yeah, because they definitely haven't been followed, have they? Without a doubt they haven't been followed. Every law is basically being broken on the tenancy agreement.
Hey, Batman.
You're sitting on the swamp, you never know.
Stormy's not up, man.
Can we get on with it?
Right up here, on this side of the table, you know what I thought I was on the right place, but I'm looking
We'll have to separate it.
What, if any, roads that are broken on the allotment?
Yeah, so
I've got a copy of a tenancy agreement given to me by the tenant. I won't tell you now. The tenant agrees to abide by the following regulations. And the ones that I think are broken, to keep the site in a clean and tidy condition, it's a bomb site. Not to cause a nuisance or annoyance to other tenants, you've had 3 letters of complaint.
Not to mention the noise and nuisance to the rugby club.
Oh, yeah.
To keep the edges or boundary fence in good repair, they took them all down and dumped them on a rugby pitch and denied all knowledge of it. So we pulled up. There's 3 reasons for them to be evicted, and you only need to break one of them.
Yeah.
One month's
I've got
notice.
one more. Down there on that corner, as you go into the gate, at the rubbish there, they said to me, it was theirs, it wasn't, it was theirs, it wasn't. Then they said,
Oh, that's right, yeah.
That's well, they're still not admitting to that.
So,
Where the mattress is, Mark, now.
Yeah.
They said it was theirs, definitely, then they said it wasn't, then they said,
There's pallet wood and there's pallet wood, there's them ton bags, about 4 of them ton bags full of
It's all come off there, allotments, Alan.
very good.
And under the Allotments Act 1950, you only have to give them 1 month's notice for breaking one of these rules, and they've broken 4 of them. So I want
4
them
months
evicted.
notice.
I want them evicted.
it's not often time. It's not often
Five
time.
allotments.
Was he laughing again?
Yeah, the rugby club's lost a fortune and you're laughing at it. It's so funny, eh?
The rugby club lost a fortune. The parish is lost a fortune.
Is there a legal reason why they can't be evicted or fall their allotment?
So the only question that I have in my mind, and I appreciate that I've only recently come into this job, so I don't have a lot of the back history, is I don't doubt that those 3 or 4 points apply to the plots that were formerly known as the wet area, which I think are A14, A29 and A31.
They apply to the other 2.
Right, everything.
So that was the bit that I was going to say is, do all of those apply to the, what I would call a substantive 2 plots?
Yes.
Yeah. So just thinking like, I haven't seen them yet, or at least certainly not in daylight, so I can't say whether the plot that has been held since 1996.
The whole purpose of draining that water was to drain water off them allotments.
Hang on, can I just finish?
Okay.
It is that plot that they've held since 1996, is that in a clean and tidy condition?
No.
I'm just asking the question, because if I issue a termination notice with all of those points on it, any of those points don't apply, then they can challenge it. So, as you say, they've broken 4 different rules, but those rules, I have to list them in any termination notice that's sent, so I need to make sure that they all apply to all 5 points.
Bex, can I please tell you something?
Can I just get this out, Brian? And you, Right, so the plot that's A10, and there's one beside it A9. Now there's rumour going about that one of these plots was in there. I'm up a proof here that they're all in there. And I've got an agreement here in front of us, and it says here, like Dave said before, to cause a nuisance or annoyance to any other user, and it says on the bottom of it, this is in case of any disputes between the tenants and any other occupiers. The matter will be referred to the parish council, whose decision is final.
That's what I was going to read out.
Sorry, right.
That's what I was going to read out. That applies to the plot that you're on about with over 26 years. Any dispute shall be referred to the parish council, whose decision is final.
Now, at the end of the day, I know I appreciate you weren't here before Christmas, but everything what's happened over the last 10 months and all the events which has been laughed in our face, they definitely have broke every single rule on an allotment. And they've caused a trouble to everybody. Like you're saying, they're costing the parish council money, which is one thing. The rugby club cost the rugby club now a lot of money. Then there's the safety. Then there's all these people as well. You've got to remember, excuse me, all these people as well who taking up the time, you know, to trying to help the village for what's going on.
Volunteers.
You know, the volunteers out there. Like, I mean, let's be honest with you. Last month, Nick was there. They were sitting in the corner. I said to Nick, what are you going to do about it? What are you going to say to them? Nothing. Where now? I essentially got pulled up for code of conduct, right? Basically because I was doing the job that he can't do.
Is it capable?
Basically, now we've sorted out contractor, so we don't have to do anything. We can just sit back and just let whatever happen. But we care about the rugby club. We care about everything else. But what we also care about is kids and that safety.
Mr. Chairman,
And
you've
this
never
has
been seen
going
at
on
that
for- This
pond.
has been going on for 10
Since
8 months.
the volunteers started to put that water up, you've never been seen. No, it's never been seen.
So
Of course it does.
the
Of course it does.
resolution
Yes,
that
it
I've
does.
got at the moment,
Kick them off.
Then
1
the
month.
service
Is-
doesn't make a difference, basically.
no, that the service doesn't. I just
Nothing
wanted
to
to
do with it.
no, I just wanted to check that all of the points raised applied to all of them. I didn't want to find out that one of them looked like something out of the Good Gardens magazine or something,
doesn't.
because then they would challenge it.
It's no disrespect, Rex. No disrespect to you, but honestly, when we spoke a month ago, was it? You said you were going to. I understand you haven't got up. You said you were going to try and have a look and have a look. If you'd seen what was going on, realistically speaking,
I appreciate.
you may have had a different view.
I appreciate, but I just have to check for the record. So the record that I have at the moment, which subject to it being proposed and seconded and then voted upon, is resolved that the tenancy agreements on plots A9, A10, A14, A29, A31 be terminated under Section 1, Subsection 1 of the Allotments Act 1922 with 1 month's notice on the grounds that the tenants have not been observing the rules of the allotment tenancy agreement, specifically to keep the site in a clean and tidy condition, not to cause nuisance or annoyance to other tenants,
That's the one.
and to keep the hedges or boundary fence in good repair. I appreciate all the other stuff that goes around it, but this has to be done based upon the law.
You just have to break one rule.
So-
Is that correct?
You do just have to break
One rule. Annoyance.
So it doesn't matter if they
To the whole village.
If they broke one rule, that's it. They're terminated.
So I'm just checking that that's right, so that when I put it in the formal notice,
So can I just be clear? You're saying that they can challenge.
they do have a right. They do have a right of challenge, but
If they brought one single rule, they're off. Is that right?
they
No, all they can do is appeal to the parish council.
The next thing
Good
that's
luck to
going to
them.
go on, once we get this part sorted out, the next thing is going to recuperate the money back.
Yep.
That's being spent. So in a way, even though we're 100% right, it's our defence as well.
Yeah.
That they have cost the parish council, or will be costing the parish council
How can they continue to be tenants?
Brought this council into disrepute.
Yeah, they've destroyed this council.
And he's helped them.
Doesn't look very happy, does it? Doesn't look very hungry.
Any appeals come to the parish council first.
I can put it in the letter. I'm only.
It says that our decision is final, so yeah.
It says on the tenancy agreement, the parish council's decision is final.
The tenants.
If the parish council
The
put
tenants.
the eviction notice in, surely they must appeal to the parish council with any appeal.
But I think that's all they can
Parish
do.
council
David.
should be copied in. Yes. In terms of, it says it in the tenancy agreement. Yes, you're right. It does say it in the tenancy agreement. Depending upon what happens further down the agenda, one of the things that as clerk I have a duty to tell the council is that your allotment tenancy agreement is not up to standard and not up to scratch.
It's what was signed.
It was what was signed. It was what was signed. So just
And also, Becky,
it's going to need reviewed at some point in the future. So dealing with it in component parts, I haven't raised that issue because I knew these issues were more pressing. So yes, it's what's written. Yes, we can terminate them under Section 1 of the 1922.
By the clerk of the parish council.
I can't comment because it wasn't when I was here.
If you look at the 1996 one, it's better than all the
I got in
others.
touch with Calc and I got in touch with Shaw, you'll know him, I think the first, Stephanie Shaw, and I got in touch with this and that. And every message I got back from every single one of them, it is a parish council problem.
Yeah.
And that is what, now if it isn't a parish council problem then what we need to do in our next step, we need to attack Calc, we need to attack them because they're giving us false information. They said it was a parish council, so did, what was his name, mate, Telford.
Yeah.
Paul Telford, exactly said, he said he would advise us, but he said it is, at the end of the day, it all boils down to the same thing. The parish council on Moresby are independent, and it's on the parish council, whatever we do.
We haven't a member of the Allotment Association either, are we?
No.
So any decision made by the parish council stands.
Take a vote on it.
And if they're not happy about it, let them sue whatever they want.
Take a vote on it.
Whatever they want.
So the first
Because
question-
what are they doing? What are they doing to this small village?
Yeah, so everyone agree that we should be serving this.
You don't have to take it on.
Yeah.
I support that we serve them 5 eviction notices on all 5 allotments.
Well said, David.
No, not at all. 100%. 100%.
Take the vote.
Right, take the
Take the
board.
vote on it.
Show of hands.
Hands, show of hands.
Mr. Chairman,
Unanimous.
are you voting?
Unanimous.
Voted for it.
Unanimous.
I would like to think of it.
Voted for it.
Right. That's fine, that's happy now.
The next one is to consider the appointment of a legal advisor to seek compensation from the allotment.
The reason I wanted a false 5 because A and 9, even though you say it's not part of the problem, it's because of A and 9 that all this work was carried out to drain those allotments, so they are encompassed in the problem. There's also something
The
else.
cause of the problem.
There's something else. Which allotment has Mrs. Thornley got in there, Kev?
Yeah, because it says Mrs. C. Thornley.
Which allotment's that?
That's the one there.
There you go there. There's a paper there, Dave. I blew it up. I Thornley, Care Thornley, and then it says on the top of there, Mr. No, Mrs.
So there is one tenancy agreement that is in a feminine name. Under general data protection regulations, I shouldn't be discussing the names in a public forum.
They must have changed it quickly.
Which plot was it?
So I can confirm that one of the plots does have Mrs. in the tenancy
When
arrangement.
did that change?
That was the one that was signed in 1996, 11th of
No,
March.
no,
So it's in joint
1996.
names.
The one I'm looking at in 1996 here.
Joint names.
That's it, Mr. I've got both things there if you want to have a look at them. There's
Well,
both things.
I can show you my records at another point, but I can't discuss it in a public forum, I'm afraid.
And there's the main one that shows you where that is.
So I can send
And
you.
another thing is going to
I
just
can send
say,
you copies if you want.
they were supposed to take these, what's wrong there? So they're saying. And they just left that for all the villages and put a fence right across it.
Well, that's what happened. They said they were taking the unusable plots. And the unusable plots on the plan is where they've dug the pond.
Yeah.
So we all said, yeah, let them have them. They made the mess, let them fix it. The following month, when we discussed the minutes, Mr. Thornley Senior pipes up. But those weren't the 3 allotments I asked for. I gave Chris the 3 numbers I wanted, which were the others, 14, 29 and 31, which he gave out at the next meeting. But that wasn't said in the meeting when we agreed to let them have 3 more plots.
In the meeting when we agreed with the 3 plots, we said it was to protect his underground structure.
They've pulled us back.
To protect
what?
To protect what?
It's the really
Protect and then divert the water out.
Divert to the rugby club.
And then
It's illegal. You've described something that's illegal.
Stuff going on in the last 8 months. When I went up the field, I was up the field when one of the residents was told that's why he was there. I was actually there myself that day, and they told me that they were filling it all back in. Oh, we've run out of money, we're filling it all back in. And when you say about when they started and finished, we have, Kevin Dobby, we have proof of every time they've had a digger on there. We have proof of every single time. Every single time.
We have photographs, April 21, November 21.
And we've got a sat-nav proof to prove exactly where he was even positioned. Wow.
Yeah. With bomb proof.
Because Chris Shaw sold you down the bloody river.
Another thing is, Brian, we've got Brian. We have pictures of pipes like that, didn't we?
Yeah,
yes,
they're still there.
No, but they're all still there.
Oh, no. Most of them gone. They're all underground.
And they've been doing whatever on there for years. It hasn't just been now. They've been doing it for years.
Mark, there's 3, 4 out-the-thing water supply pipes going in.
Yeah.
If the ground's that wet, why do you need water?
It's illegal.
Why do you need water if the pots are that wet?
They wouldn't let us in the ground.
Yeah, so the question we're asking, we're discussing, is do we consider the appointment of a legal advisor to seek compensation?
Yes.
Yes. Could you give us someone on that next, please?
Will the children do it for
I was
us?
going to say the only thing that I was going to say is at the moment the insurance are considering it. It might be something the insurance company wants to take forward as your insurers. So I don't. You can make a resolution that that's something that the council would like to do, I would suggest that any such resolution is caveated with, but actually is not taken until the outcome of the insurance company's consideration is known. I say it is now in the hands of the insurers. If we were then to appoint a solicitor to also look at it, we've then got two different sets of people looking at it. The insurers.
Why, Bex, when everybody knows that they are responsible, why would we pay for legal advice? If the insurance company won't do it for us, surely we can just invoice them and then take legal action for
If they refuse to pay,
everybody knows they've caused it, so I don't think we should pay for legal advice until they've refused to pay.
Invoice them, every single thing, and if they refuse to pay, then take legal advice.
But you won't pay for the insurance.
So my advice, my strong advice would be that the council allow the insurance company to conclude what they are doing, and that I will then bring the results of that process back to a future meeting at which you can then take decisions on what to do next. I don't know what the insurance company is going to say. I'm providing them with all the information they ask for. But if you start doing a separate process at the same time as the insurance, then there could potentially be conflicts there, possibly. Do you want to make a resolution on this now, or do you want to allow the insurance company?
We want to let the insurance, but we'd like to have updates on what's...
I can resolve that you want this matter to be deferred to the next meeting until the outcome of the insurance process is known, if that would be satisfactory.
Yeah, sounds reasonable.
You don't know the total cost yet, because when you get on to plot 10, you're going to find a load of other stuff that needs doing. There's tons of hardcore that's going to need.
They've covered one plot with hardcore. They've probably drained it, and they've also got three standpipes installed that are illegal. It's dubious where they're getting the water from.
Can I just ask a quick question? When they serve the eviction notice, will they be told to put their allotments back to how they were, or are they going to be putting the bill to sort out the mess that they've left?
You can sue them for compensation,
Mr. Ben was sued.
Mr. Ben was charged.
Earlier on when we said about the allotments, you talked about getting them off. About, that was all spot on. I just wondered if it was noted about them changing the paths. And I know it's been in the emails, but they changed the route of the paths. Like we said, the turning point.
They've cleared the land.
Actual paths run through there and running down the other way. And they changed all that as well. You know, it's another
well, when they're off, we can sort that though.
Yeah, of course.
It's all going to cost for fencing.
Fence down, fence them down, and they put up and stop you going round with your allotments, haven't they?
When the notice is put it on there, it's returned back to its original state. The allotments that they've got in England.
Denny's going to be late tonight, lad. There's no one else got the whiskey tonight, Denny's for you, lad.
It's indeed a bucket full today, won't it?
The last meeting, Norma suggested that this resolution about consider the adoption of the proposal that there will be one plot per one household policy in the future.
No. Future only in the past.
Well, from now on, because it can't.
So the second part of the point 4 is and then to approve service of the relevant tenancy termination notices.
So if somebody's got 2 plots and they haven't done anything wrong, you can't terminate there.
Well, if you accept that proposal, then yes.
We've got to.
It has to be equitable. So there are more tenants that this will affect. Yes.
Prevent this problem happening again.
So there are.
If they're going to do it.
So
my son-in-law's got 2. I've asked him. He's got 2 because there's no access to the middle one.
Because
only access to the middle one through his allotment.
I think the other double one's in disrepair anyway.
Yes, it's a funny double, isn't it?
Yeah, you can only get to the second one.
That's why you got the middle one. He didn't want it, did he?
Was that Norman's?
Yes.
Norman's, that's the only access point through Norman's,
Also, could we put in that obviously we're hoping to be successful with what we've gone on about tonight, but also they can never ever apply for anything again.
I would agree.
That would come up under a future discussion about the need to prepare a waiting list policy. So that would be something you would put on your waiting list policy,
Yeah.
and that's something else that's going to need to be done, but it's kind of the next stage after this.
The ban for brain
So
trades.
what I'm looking for at the moment is if council approve
You're a bad man.
that I terminate one of the two tenancies of the other two tenants that have two plots.
Yeah.
That was a bit of a mouthful.
Yeah.
Because it has to be applied equitably.
Yeah.
Okay? Fine. And then I will look to prepare an allotment waiting list policy for a future meeting, depending on what happens further down the agenda.
Yeah.
Is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then back to number one, which was to consider annual renewal of tenancy agreements on the 1st of April.
So my question now is on all the tenants that are not affected by the other three discussions that we've just had, do you want their tenancies to renew on the 1st of April?
Yes.
You mean the singles, you know?
Yeah, so there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I think 9.
Yeah.
Yeah, single allotment holders. Yeah. I only say it because I just double check that that's what's being said.
Yeah, so I think there'll be 9
They're
remaining
really wrong.
tenants.
That's all right, but will the work affect their allotments? The work that needs done and back to fill the pond in? Will it affect their?
I honestly don't know the answer to that question. I'm too new into the role.
It's going to be over and done with. Pretty quick, all this. It's not a long,
But
thing.
they'll have to pay in April. So,
All
so if they can't get on their allotments because of the work that's being done.
right. Well, I'll speak for Carl. Carl would say he'd rather pay. Than know that he's still got his allotment. I know he'd rather just pay. Then he knows he's got it. Yeah, what is it? 20 quid, is it?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He would just pay anyway, so it wouldn't affect him. I don't know how anybody else does.
Velvet says there.
I think you should put a warning out that every material on site.
Yeah.
Whether you do it on the Moresby page or on the website or advertise on the paper, I don't care. But people need to be made aware that every plant will not go on site.
Yeah, right, I think I've got all that, yes. Thank you. I think that's a lot of stuff.
Yeah. Is there anything else anybody wants to raise
On the name on
I can share that with you.
Which plot is it?
Yeah.
I can share that with you outside the meeting.
Yeah, that's fine.
Do you want to advise?
Yeah.
But it's all five.
So we now, move on to the clerk's report and start.
Yeah.
Private.
So I will leave the room at the point where you get to the staff performance review. But as I say, I've waived my right to confidentiality, so there's no requirement for the public to leave, unless of course you've got a nice warm house and a beer in the fridge or something, and if so, I'm very good. Firstly, I circulated to you all the clerk's report, so I'll stay in the room in case anyone has any questions on my report.
Jesus God. Jesus. Hell, bloody well set.
How far are you today? You local? And
It's also raised around
Just another hour. I'd like to talk to you personally.
there's a huge number of emails flying around, so on.
I can only not because I don't know what to talk to you about. I'll have a go.
You talk outside to finish the meeting. You can't really want to be inside.
Is that no sports to say?
I'll be back.
I'll be back.
So I think you're on to the staff performance review, so
Well, I was just going to say on the clerk's report, there's a lot of emails flying around and phone calls going around, and we need to sort of allow Bex to focus on the meat of the job, not be sending triple emails.
But it's nice to see that she answers them.
But they weren't trivial when we sent them.
Sorry?
They weren't trivial when we sent them.
And she does answer them, so that's the point.
Yeah, she does.
But you're very welcome.
Enjoyed it?
I'm used to it. I'm used to it.
Okay. I have
So where
made
does this
notes
go?
of significant numbers of emails.
We all of them. All of them.
Obviously, when I come back in, I will minute any resolutions. So when I come back in, I just need to know what resolutions you're taking so I can write them down. And if somebody could let me know when I can come back in.
Yeah.
I don't know whether we're going to do that. So, the next item is staff performance review. Was it you who wanted to put on the agenda?
Who's that one? Like, who's that one everything sorted out?
Yeah.
You've really missed a few about, to be honest. You don't really want to talk about it in front of you if you have to be truthful. Like. Yeah, that's what I feel.
I'm not trying to
I
at the moment, I'm more than happy with that.
She's an answer,
Yeah,
isn't she?
yeah.
Professional.
You've got more from her in one meeting than we've had on the
We
job.
don't get response from Nick or Chris in the past, we just don't.
More than happy.
Yeah, if we'd had a year ago, this would be happening, what I'm honest. Look, hopefully soon we won't be seeing you anymore.
She's got a lot to sort out. She has.
She's a lot to sort out, and as I say, it's under the circumstances.
Every single
She is.
email she answers.
We haven't heard the rest of it. It's not that the staff report should have been read at the end. There's
Yeah.
stuff we haven't heard yet. I think this is. I mean, if you look on here, it's on the end. I thought that everything else would have been done, and that would have been done at the last. To be honest, there's still a few items we haven't sorted. So to be honest with you, I'm going to get back in. Can't be done now.
That's right, yeah.
We're on short salary.
Huh?
They're going to borrow this salary, severance pay.
Well, we're called compassionate.
We're not compassionate, no. It's going to cost you £800 plus. Just cancel it. Cancel it. Have the standards say no.
I'll walk away.
Teacher, mediator next. Bottom top.
Right, I'll look at it out.
Are you selling videos of that?
Oh, it could be online, don't worry.
So, the Chinese and
We're allowed back in the class.
Yeah.
Oh, we didn't say you had to go out, we just asked you not to make a noise, we couldn't hear what was happening.
I think I've left because
Before he comes back in, can I ask, why have they not removed him as chair?
because he won't go.
They didn't even remove him.
Well, they've tried, he won't go.
Very important this time of day.
No, I think she's doing a good job.
You've done a good job.
Yeah. She does know stuff and she looks into things.
Those meetings are run properly.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think we've all been fighting.
and yes, she is getting a bit bombarded with emails, but she answers every single one.
Yeah.
You know,
She doesn't swear at us.
she doesn't swear at us,
She doesn't tell you to go off
doesn't
like
laugh
a
at
monk.
us.
No, she doesn't.
Well, what I said about the damn prosecution. That's absolutely
You can't put a negligence.
Cold, eh? Yeah, I am. It's a cold out there. No, I'm just always cold.
Just have the agenda up next before we go to the
That's fine, it can be done at whichever point. As I say, I've waived my right to confidentiality, so you can talk about it whenever you want, you just need to kick me back out of the room. So that's been moved to the end. Okay. Yeah, okay, right, I'm back up to where I should be. So you have one more item under staff, I think, unless you are proposing deferral of that item.
Consider recruitment for a permanent clerk.
Yes, so I don't know whether
At
that's...
the moment, we can't really talk about that either, if that's all right. We'll just leave them to... I always thought they would be at the end, really, to be honest. We'll talk about everything else first, but just under the... being funny, you know, just that's how I'm saying it.
I have no objection if councillors have no objection. It's
all right with that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, next one is to note receipt of the finance paper. So there was a paper on finance. Can't find it.
I'm not used to things being in order, that's a problem.
Would you prefer a scattergun agenda next time, or maybe to mix it up?
No, yes, most things.
So again, the finance paper, I'm not looking for any resolutions. I just want councillors to note receipt of it, so you confirm that you have had it.
Yeah.
Yes. Unless anyone wants to ask me any questions, at which point I'll answer them. I probably should note that. Well, actually, no, I did put in a bracket. So Moresby has 2 polling stations. So if you were to go to a contested election in May, then the costs...
We've got 2 polling stations.
Yes. Yeah. I don't know that question.
It's always been here.
It's always just been here. According to the electoral...
School.
Oh, we used to have school.
No,
We
it used to be
used
school, but
now.
it's moved to here.
So, according to the electoral authority, which is not me, you have 2 polling stations, so that would mean your election... So
That's
it could,
right, isn't it the church hall?
so election costs could be between £4,000 and £6,000 because it's per polling station and it's up to £3,000 per polling station. So just to make you aware of that. That just is. I can't change it, it's statutory. But other than that, just to note receipt of that paper, please. As I say, unless anyone's got any questions, and then I will do my best to answer them.
Invoices for approval.
There is a long list. There is one additional one to be added there, which is Copeland Borough Council, which is the replacement seat, which we didn't discuss earlier on in the agenda. So replacement pendulum seat and replacement of broken timber on a picnic bench, and that was £277.90p. And all the invoices are here should anyone wish to look at them.
Yeah, that was approved back in...
I think it's older online, though, isn't it?
Sorry, what?
There's no checks being signed now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just haven't passed them round, I didn't know you approved them all. So once everyone's nodded, then I'll pass them to yourself and
Alan's gone.
I think Nick's signature as well. Yeah. So if everyone's happy that they're all approved, then I'll pass the chequebook over for many signatures to be given. Is that?
Yeah.
Then the thing about the bank reconciliation statement.
Just on account. Oh well, actually no, I can't ask you this. I'll have to ask you later. Ignore me. I'm sure that you do know, but can you initial them? Yeah, that's fine. Bank reconciliation. So the balance on the back, because that's at the end. So that number there, which is £30,689.32, should equal that one on the bank statement.
Yeah. Does anybody else want to look at it?
No. Prove it, sir.
You moved it very fast, I couldn't work out if it's a 32 or 52.
Ah, no, sadly it doesn't say 52. I've only got one council that's got that kind of balance sitting around.
No, it's 52, it's an extra 20 pence.
Oh, I was going to say, not an extra 20 grand. I was like, no, sorry. Okie dokie. That's that bit done, thank you.
What was the next item?
The donation.
The donation to the Rugby Union Club.
Yeah.
I don't think there's anything to consider.
No,
I think it needs to be done.
not at all.
So in terms of the power under which it would be done, just so that you are aware, because you are the councillors, Section 19, subsection 3 of the Local Government Miscellaneous Provisions Act 1976, which allows for councils to provide recreation facilities, has some caveats which relate to the legal structure of the organisation and whether the site is open to the public for recreation in perpetuity. Alternatively, and this was the one that I thought that you would use in the first place, and I can now confirm that you can, is to do it under Section 137 of the Local Government Act 1972, which is the unrestricted power to spend that a parish council has, that the total amount you can spend in any one financial year is based upon your electorate head, the number of electors that you have in your parish. I now have a copy of the electoral register, so I can confirm that you could offer that donation under Section 137 of the Local Government Act 1972.
Yeah, I'll put the other for it.
Any objections?
No, not at all.
The only caveat to that is I'm waiting for a new chequebook to arrive.
Yeah, so no check.
So the donation is approved.
No, as long as it's approved.
I just need a new chequebook.
Nobody renews them.
Who proposed that? Sorry, I wasn't watching.
Yeah. Not us.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'll give them an hour to do back.
If it's all right, I was going to say, can we not go down that route, please?
Alright, I'm just joking.
Okay, that's fine. And then the final bit
Consider a compensation claim.
from Bradstey Football Club, who have written to me and asked for compensation of £900 to reflect the additional costs that they have incurred whilst they haven't been able to use the pitch. And I do have a copy of the letter. I had it a minute ago and now I've buried it again. But it was for £900.
It has a roll thing. Is it roll?
We've got a roll.
It's not on,
No, that was.
it's ongoing still.
It's there until we can actually use this pitch.
Yeah.
We're still going to have to.
Yeah.
do a process.
So the only thing I ever think, I have an issue with this, like, and I'm sorry, but I just have a say it. Are you still paying Moresby?
No.
So if you're not paying Moresby and you're paying to play somewhere else, then you've got to look at it that way. Like, what were you paying Moresby? Like, if you're paying more to play somewhere else, I understand that. I don't understand it, Jay. I don't. If it's
so, we were paying £175 a month for Moresby, and that was, we were maintaining it as well. So that was for like use of the changing rooms, pitches. But on there we had got sort of 6 or 7 teams. So now we've got 6 or 7 teams. Now we've got to find somewhere to play. So for the open age team, you're looking at booking the slot for 2 hours, which can range up to £140. So £175 a month, we've got one year, £140. Then I've got over 18 teams, which is another 2 hour slot. Under 14 teams, another 2 hour slot.
because you're paying for one session, and there you're paying for individual.
Yeah. So you pay for one pitch here, where you can move around the time, but you've got AstroTurf, so you pay for slots, hour slots.
You need it to be explained a bit more, like.
Yeah, you've got girls' games, you know what I mean, they take a quarter pitch, and that's an hour slot. It all adds up, but we're still paying it now, so that was up to the start of February. So now I'm still looking for slots now, and you can't find them, Mark. There's that many teams.
Surely this pitch should be somewhere in the region of
I think after this is done, again, I take a look and check it to see if it's trying to put. That's the next thing. Checking on to put it.
When it's bailed, if it's bailed out, then what's going on with it?
It is, it's drying up. You can tell it's drying up all the time. And I said these last few weeks of decent weather, he's opened it, but I need you on to put it and mark it. And as soon as I you on to put it and mark it, and I get the OK from Moresby, I'll be back on. I can't wait, to be honest with you, because it's an absolute hassle trying to sort out pitches. Where I've got them here, I've got it here. And I've got a guy waiting to do the other side.
Fair enough.
Again, if anyone's, just because the chair's signing checks, I'll need a proposal and a seconder if...
I'll propose it.
Yeah, no, seconded.
Any compensation?
This wasn't explained there. So
No, it's
Can these be recouped from the cause of the problem?
That is something that I'll have to discuss with the insurance company once they get further down the line.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know the answer to that question.
Well, it's money we wouldn't be spending normally, isn't it?
Yeah.
Was everyone
Unless it's be recovered.
Yeah.
was everyone in favour of that?
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you. Again, I'm still waiting on a new chequebook, so again that one will follow as soon as I get a new chequebook.
Well, just let me clarify for our committee is that obviously we know the contract with drainage planning, that drainage is getting put in, yeah?
Yeah.
Compensate, if the donation has been agreed,
Yeah, I'll confirm.
they'll come in due course.
I'll confirm it all to you in
It's
writing.
just so that we can, that's the letters from this.
I'll
Can you confirm that to Ray?
Yeah, I'll confirm it all in writing to Ray, and then I will ask Ray to confirm that he has received that email, just so that I know that everyone's got.
Much appreciated.
It won't be tonight.
No. Alright, I can drop in the.
Because I haven't had lunch yet, and I'm now really hungry.
I've had nothing since 11 o'clock.
Yeah, I think it was about 10:20 when I last had something. No, actually, I tell a lie. I've had 3 Haribo in the van on the way here.
I had Ferrero Rocher.
But my body is pointing out that it's my stomach thinks my throat's been cut.
No.
Thank you. I think we're now back on staff matters. And I still waive my right to confidentiality.
What was on staff matters?
Staff performance review and recruitment of a permanent clerk were the 2 things that.
Well, we've done staff performance review. Everybody said they were happy.
I don't think we need to do it.
We have enough for tonight.
I'm more than happy with your performance.
Do you want it agendaed for the next meeting?
Well, for the permanent post, you mean?
No, my performance review.
Oh, for your performance.
No, they're happy to do that.
If you wouldn't do any harm to put it on,
That's fine.
No, put it on.
and then we can discount it.
And the other item was to consider recruitment of a permanent clerk. Is that something you
Well,
wish?
that needs to be done, doesn't it?
Well, we are going to need a
Oh, I-
permanent clerk, can't we?
Absolutely.
I
It's just
don't know how long it takes, who will apply or anything, do you?
no, I have no idea.
No.
It's just whether you want to discuss it now. And as I say, I have no desire to be your permanent clerk. You're all very nice, but you're too far away from me, and I have a maximum distance that I drive.
Yeah.
And I'm afraid this is too far. It's just whether you want to discuss it now, or whether you want to wait until.
I don't think we need to do it now.
Just that there is some more policies to be approved to bring you up to date. The website needs to be got accessible and that sort of thing. And it's whether you want to consider trying to bring a new clerk in whilst that work is happening, or whether you
I
want.
wouldn't want to bring one in. I would want to have one lined up if you will.
So I think we.
We'll start there.
So that I think the normal process is 3 months from start of advertisement to clerk taking over.
You're very well finished.
So I've up to 6 months takes me to the 1st of June. So I would suggest that if you considered starting recruitment at your March meeting, then those two.
Lined up. Yeah.
That's
Lovely.
fine.
Yeah.
No problem.
Yeah.
And off the back of that, because I didn't know whether I could ask this question because I didn't know whether you were going to fire me. Are you happy that a letter is signed by Nick and Leslie changing the contact details for the bank account to my house? Because otherwise I can't get another chequebook. Because at the moment it's all still going to Chris, and Chris is forwarding stuff to me. It's just obviously taking a long time.
Yeah.
That'd be better coming to you.
Yeah. So if so.
Just to nip in, Bex, this price here for the pump is inaccurate. I sent you a different one, did you get that?
You sent me lots. I think I had about 8 emails. Have I missed one? As in, I had about 8 emails that all appeared to me to be the same.
There's one a bit more. Another one came in and they said, if you want to find it out.
Apologies if I missed it. If you can find it and send it to me, but I won't be able to get it paid till the new chequebook comes.
I've sent you the thing.
Okay, I did get, thank you, there was a flurry. I got the same email about 8 times from you.
It's from his email.
Because of where I work.
And he has no signal, so he thinks he doesn't send, and then it sends again.
And I kind of looked at the first 3 and they all looked exactly the same, so I'm afraid I didn't look at all the rest, sorry.
Until this week, it's like 200 quid, 190. I've sent you I'll send you again. But because it's cheaper now. You know, the first 2 were dated, the pipe's shorter now.
Yes.
So we're paying a lot less for the pipe. I'm not exactly sure, but I think it was about 200 quid.
If you, well.
Then you know about the Fuel as well.
that the fuel has been approved tonight, and I have a cheque that I will send to Brian.
Do you want me to give him
I'll send him it because I could do with knowing his address anyway, and I don't currently know him. Just so that I've got it for the records. But yes, that the fuel has been reimbursed, and obviously if there's more fuel by the next meeting, then again, if the receipts come, then they'll be reimbursed at the next meeting, that's fine. Okay.
Okay. We sorted out finance.
Yes.
Do you have any matters to raise, Graham?
No.
I just have the two, you know, that I've already brought one up to thank the parishioners and Mark for draining the pond, which I've done. The other one was, we've had 2 new widows on the village week before Christmas and week after Christmas. Do you know about Mary Jackson Fund?
Other than the fact I've seen the name written down?
Yeah, well, we do the Mary Jackson Fund, but both ladies have had their cheques and they're now on my list, the Mary Jackson list. And they both said thank you very much. They certainly weren't expecting it. We're doing a good job. It's not us, it's Mary Jackson that left the money. But there you go. Yeah, yeah. Oh, the other thing, Bex, did you get the new printer off Chris, by the way?
I haven't got the new printer off Chris. It is still with Chris. I haven't got it
because I just bought that.
Because I have no space for it. So Chris is not taking possession of it. I don't have any space. I have a house full of council documents.
Well, if you get it, I'll keep one of your fingers.
That's fine. I can ask for. I'll organise a time to get it from Chris. I might wait until before the next meeting so I don't make a special trip over.
Yeah.
And
that's fine.
That's fine.
But he wasn't getting rid of it or anything. It's just he has a bigger house than me.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I have a lot of council documents because you're my ninth council.
Yeah.
So I've lost.
That's all from me.
I've lost half my house to council documents.
Yes, I want if you can contact the United Utilities, we're not going to go over these standpipes on our allotments that are paid without permission.
Yeah.
And the legality of them.
I can do.
Because they aren't extended from any existing standpipe. They are new addition. Some allotments have never ever had piped water on them. Never.
I can ask them to come, that is fine. My only concern is if they find out that they are not compliant with the Water Regulations Act, what the implications of that will be and who will be liable, and I don't know the answer to that question.
I'm not bothered with the implications or not. It is resolved.
Yeah, they are recent as well, so it's
Yeah,
not
there's
like
never been water on them allotments,
No.
never ever. And all of a sudden, when I asked them where it come from, they said utilities. You just see how to ask.
I don't know when the evictions go ahead, they'll be coming out.
Yeah.
Oh, they'll have to come out.
Yeah, but I mean, I would say they're plumbed into his house.
But if they put them in before the meter or after the meter, that is the question.
Are they paid for it or not?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or is stamp is still paid for it?
Why have we got the stamp plates on?
Nobody knows the way.
I don't know, they might
The question was asked and it said it's nothing to do with you.
Not really. Oh, the sign at top of school house fell down. I noticed that on my way from work tonight.
Highway sign?
Yeah, you know, as you come down towards the school, just at the very top.
I was going to say, I've not yet seen your parish in daylight.
Just as you go across up Rose Hill, and then you take, right on the corner, school house sign is like on each side.
So what?
In the street side, the one saying school ground.
Yeah.
What I'll do is I'll circulate the way to
Or the one on the big poles that says Moresby Parish.
I think I probably know it because I reported our sign outside our house.
I'll send the link round to everyone again so you've all got it so you know how to report highways issues.
The Parkfield signs the wrong way, it's on Moresby Parks Road. Parkfield's using Moresby Parks Road. Somebody totaled the fence, which is police report hasn't come through yet.
I know I've never gone back in the circles either, but when we said about the money that was owed, the £200 and the £64, the invoice going to the phones over that was that included in the part.
So
They were tasked with doing it, so it's got to go to them.
So my understanding or my perception would be that, again, it depends on what the findings that the insurance company make. So I assume that the insurance company will ask, they haven't yet asked, for evidence of all financial spend to date. and then they will look to recover all financial spend to date. They haven't got to that stage yet, and obviously at this point in time, I can't conclusively say what the definitive cost is going to be, because until the works have been done, hopefully we're not going to find any more problems, but until the works have been done, I can't say that the final figure was. But the normal process would be that once the issue has been concluded, that a copy of all financial receipts relating to it would then be passed to the insurers, and then yes, the cost of hiring the pump and the fuel would be included, and then the insurance company would take that forward. I'm assuming that that's what will happen here, but as I say, we're still going through the process.
It's got to be good, they would have to be doing it, Mark, wouldn't they? They were told to do it.
Have you sanctioned paying Chris Shaw then by this time? Have you sanctioned paying him?
Yeah, and the cheque's being signed.
Why have you done that? Why? What you paid for the incompetence?
No, no, but it wasn't the deal.
Okay, date of the next meeting is the...
that was changed by other people, not by
Monday of March.
Yeah, so I think that makes it the 6th of March.
The 6 o'clock.
Yeah.
Better make it trouble.
Obviously, I'll have to check that with the rugby club that's available.
When is it?
6th of March.
Yeah.
Is that a Monday?
It is a Monday, yeah, it's going back to a
It's
Monday.
usually not on a Monday unless there's a funeral, so...
Well, I'm hoping that there won't be any more funerals.
No,
We don't want any more of those.
No, we don't.
So yeah, 6th of March.